At 2 in the morning, I was jolted awake by a nightmare. I turned my head, only to find my husband, Lu Ding, squatting by the bed, his dark eyes fixed intently on me. In the shadows, his face was so pale it was almost grotesque. Lu Ding? I called out softly. He revealed a smile. I wanted to see if you were asleep. I felt confused and a little terrified. Just as I was about to get out of bed to use the bathroom, I saw that Lu Ding was holding a sharp paring knife. Husband? I called again, trembling. Lu Ding stared at me for a long moment. I want to peel an apple for you. He went to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, took out an apple, and began to peel it. I watched Lu Ding's tall, slender back, a trace of warmth rising in my heart. The heating in the room seemed to be broken. It was unusually cold. I draped a bathrobe over myself and stepped barefoot onto the floor. Suddenly, I felt something bump against my foot. I looked down, and my entire body instantly went cold. A pair of pale white feet were sticking out from under the bed, and my toes had brushed against theirs. These feet were deathly white, clearly not belonging to a living person. Lu Ding walked toward me with the peeled apple, as if he couldn't see the feet at all. Husband, there are feet, I cried out. Lu Ding's gaze was calm. He sighed. I didn't hide them well enough. You found them after all. Then, my vision went dark, and I knew no more. When I woke up again, it was 8 in the morning. I sat up abruptly. The space beside me was empty, but a faint aroma drifted from the kitchen. Remembering the feet, I immediately bent down, only to find the space under the bed completely empty. There was nothing. Lu Ding brought breakfast to me. Huan. I made porridge. Husband, last night I saw a pair of feet under the bed. Lu Ding froze for a moment, then laughed. Huan, you were having a nightmare. No matter how I explained, Lu Ding insisted I had been dreaming. I knew arguing was pointless and could only try to believe it was truly a nightmare. Perhaps I had been home for too many days. My nerves stretched too thin. Due to poor fetal development, I had suffered 2 consecutive miscarriages in 2 years. The doctor said my chances of getting pregnant again were only 1%. My husband and I both adore children, and because of this, I developed depression and quit my job to rest at home. I walked into the bathroom, preparing to wash my face. Suddenly, a dark mass in the drain next to the toilet caught my eye. It was a clump of long, black hair clogging the drain. My heart hammered. This clearly wasn't my hair, mine was shoulder length. I put on gloves and picked up the clump, but the bright red bloodstain at the end of the strands seared my eyes. It was blood. As if touching a hot potato. My hand went limp, dropping the hair into the toilet. When the flush sounded, the blood washed away, staining the bowl a ghastly bright red. How could something like this be in the drain? I walked out of the bathroom in a daze. Wife, I'm off to work. Lu Ding kissed my cheek and left. Just then, a news report flashed on the TV. We interrupt this broadcast with breaking news. 2 fishermen on the Jingcheng River have discovered the floating body of a female victim, who was 5 months pregnant at the time of her death. The victim's family has now confirmed her identity. This is not the first female victim in our city. For the past 4 months, on the 15th of every month, a pregnant woman has been murdered. Police have classified this as an extremely serious serial homicide case. An unbelievable thought crossed my mind. Could my husband be involved? But I quickly dismissed it. Lu Ding was a good leader in the eyes of his colleagues, a good husband in the eyes of our friends, and incredibly gentle even toward stray animals. Every time we saw a beggar, Lu Ding would empty his pockets for them, even though we'd been tricked many times. I used to tease him for being a fool, but he told me that even if he could only help one person, it made him happy. I smiled at myself in the mirror, feeling how strange my thoughts were, but that bloodstain left me deeply unsettled. Suddenly, I noticed 2 pieces of paper sticking out from the sofa cushion. I reached in and pulled them out. The words written on them immediately stabbed at my eyes. Don't trust him. This sentence was written over and over on one sheet. The other paper was filled with large, bright red words. Run. The handwriting was mine. Who was him? I didn't have any other male friends. My only relative, my father, was far away in his hometown. That meant, him, could only be Lu Ding. But I had no memory whatsoever of writing these notes. I clutched the papers, my hands shaking, unable to calm myself for a long time. At 7 in the evening, Lu Ding came home from work. He smiled, handing me the milk tea. Guess what I brought you? Your favorite fresh grape cheese tea. Phew, the line was insane, packed with young girls. Lu Ding placed the tea in front of me. Perhaps noticing my expression was off, he pinched my cheek. Wife, what's wrong? You don't look happy. I carefully chose my words. Husband, I found a clump of long hair in our drain. And it wasn't mine. It had blood on it. A flash of surprise crossed Lu Ding's eyes. He pondered for a moment. Then it seemed to hit him. Wife, do you remember we hired an hourly cleaner a few days ago? 3 days ago, our regular cleaner had asked for leave to go home. So we had temporarily found one on a home services platform. The person who came was a very young girl from the countryside. Plain looking but with thick, long black hair, which had left a deep impression on me. However, I hadn't actually seen her clean. That day coincided with my weekly appointment with my psychiatrist. You're saying that hair might be hers? I frowned. But the blood. When she was cleaning, she accidentally fell in the bathroom and cut her scalp. I even gave her a band-aid. You were at the hospital for your checkup, so I didn't mention it. Lu Ding said with a smile. Could the truth really be that simple? I was still skeptical, but Lu Ding's expression was so natural I couldn't find a single flaw. But I was willing to trust the husband I loved so deeply. That night, Lu Ding and I were intimate for the first time in a long while. I could feel his happiness. His movements were incredibly gentle. Terrified of hurting me, I held him tightly, panting. Husband, you wouldn't lie to me, would you? His movements paused, and then immediately became even more fierce. Huan, I will never lie to you. My little fool. In the middle of the night, I suddenly startled awake. An icy chill instantly spread through my body. I wanted to snuggle into Lu Ding's arms. But the spot beside me was empty. Lu Ding was not in bed. The clock showed it was only 3 a.m. My first thought was that he'd gone to the bathroom. But the ensuite was pitch dark. Husband? I called out. Silence. No one answered. Confused, I got out of bed. And my heart sank. Lu Ding wasn't home. Even his phone was gone. He had snuck out. Why would Lu Ding leave at this hour? I wanted to call him. But after a moment's hesitation, I opened the Huawei location app instead. I had never actually checked his location before. I only had his account details because a friend once joked that women needed to check up sometimes. So I'd asked him for it. It had been so long. He must have forgotten. As the location loaded, my heart tightened. 1,000 scenarios flashed through my mind. A hotel, some unnamed residential complex. The result that appeared, however, left me utterly stunned. Hoyuan Shan. Hoyuan Shan was a mountain on the outskirts of Jingcheng, dozens of kilometers from our home. It was a place no one went after 9 p.m. Decades ago, during the war, many people had died on that mountain. The elders said it was heavy with resentment. Gradually, bizarre rumors about Hoyuan Shan grew. Exploratory streamers claimed to see overlapping shadows there at night. As a result, almost no one went there after dark. Especially now, in the dead of winter, when the temperature on the mountain dropped below zero. If Lu Ding was sneaking out for an affair, their choice of rendezvous was truly baffling. I don't know why, but my mind flashed to the serial murder case from the news. A terrible premonition gripped me. I threw on a down jacket and left the house. Jingcheng was a city that never slept, even at 3 a.m. Taxis still sped through the streets. I flagged one down. The driver was a middle-aged uncle. Hoyuan Shan. The driver gave me a surprised look. Miss, it's this late. What are you going there for? Sir, it's urgent. I'll add 500 yuan. Hearing the extra money, the driver stopped asking questions, hit the gas, and drove me straight to Hoyuan Shan. By the time I arrived, it was nearly 4:30 a.m. The sky was still pitch black. You're listening to a story on Hecate, dark and menacing. Honestly, it terrified me. The driver said, Miss, you've got to be careful. I thanked him for his concern. Sir, could you wait here for me for half an hour? I'll pay you another 500. The driver happily agreed. It's not about the money. But I'm really worried about a young lady like you out here in the middle of the night. If I leave, you won't be able to get another car. After thanking him, I pulled up my hood, put on my mask, and started up the mountain. I opened the location app. It showed Lu Ding was still on Hoyuan Shan. Mist enveloped the mountain, even in my thickest down jacket. The biting cold made me tremble. But as soon as I entered the woods, I began to regret my impulsiveness. I couldn't pinpoint Lu Ding's exact location. Hoyuan Shan was vast, and the driver was only waiting 30 minutes. Finding Lu Ding in that time was like finding a needle in a haystack. I immediately lost heart. Suddenly, I saw a familiar gray figure. It was Lu Ding, and beside him, another figure, this one in red. It looked like a woman. Her belly swollen, a pregnant woman. My heart plummeted. Was Lu Ding really cheating on me? I hurried closer, hiding behind a tree. Lu Ding had his arms around the woman's waist. I couldn't see her face, but their posture was undeniably intimate. As I witnessed my husband's infidelity, tears streamed down my face. I couldn't believe the man who loved me so much, who had even gotten a vasectomy for me, would still cheat. Are all men incapable of resisting temptation? And with a pregnant woman, no less. My heart ached. I was about to turn and leave when I sensed something was wrong. I whipped my head back. Lu Ding had thrown the woman to the ground. She fell limply, a boneless heap, and didn't move. She looked like a corpse. Cold sweat broke out on my skin. I watched, frozen, as Lu Ding's next actions unfolded. He began to dig a hole, finally tossing the woman's body into it. I was certain she was dead. Then Lu Ding began to bury the body. I could barely breathe. My hand trembled as I fumbled for my phone, wanting to call the police. But in that instant, I remembered Lu Ding's words about us traveling the world together as a little old couple. In that instant, I hesitated. Suddenly, Lu Ding looked up. His dark eyes stared straight at me. I clapped my hand over my mouth in terror. This was the man I had loved for 6 years. Yet in that moment, I felt a visceral fear of him. Lu Ding started walking toward me. He seemed to want to say something, but my first instinct was to run. Huan, don't run, let me explain. Just then, my foot caught on something. I fell hard, my vision went black, and I saw nothing more. When I woke up, I was back in our familiar bed. I shot upright. The alarm clock read 7 a.m. Lu Ding, dressed in sportswear, held out a grain pancake. Huan, hurry and wash up. I bought you a pancake downstairs. I hesitated, afraid to take it. Huan, what's wrong? Do you feel unwell? Lu Ding asked, concerned. Where were you last night? I stared into his eyes. He looked bewildered. Sleeping, of course. Where else would I be? You're lying. I followed you to Hoyuan Shan. I saw you, burying a body. I shrieked. Lu Ding stared at me for a few seconds, then suddenly laughed. He sat beside me. Huan, did you have another nightmare? No, it couldn't be a nightmare. I remembered every detail. The taxi's license plate, the driver's face, even the look in Lu Ding's dark eyes as he stared at me. Husband, please stop lying to me. I trust you wouldn't kill without reason. Just tell me the truth. Please? We can fix this, I begged. His expression grew serious. Huan, the medicine the doctor prescribed. Have you been taking it on time? I looked down. The antidepressants came with severe side effects. Insomnia, weight gain, memory loss. I hadn't been taking them as prescribed. I felt so much better than before, if it weren't for this. I felt normal. Lu Ding sighed, his long arms pulling me into his embrace. His chest was warm, his heartbeat strong. When I was at my worst, suffering from sleepless nights, he had stayed awake with me. That period was harder on him than on me. He worked all day and stayed up all night. Growing thin and haggard, tears fell without my noticing. I was so grateful to him. When I was at my weakest, he had pulled me through. He said, my silly Huan, why are you crying? We've already passed the hardest part. You went from not sleeping at all to sleeping at least 6 hours a night. Our Huan is getting better and better, right? He continued, I know our Huan wants to go back to work. You were always such a strong woman. But we still have to take the medicine. On time, correct dose, right? Huan, I was really home last night. You must have had a nightmare. How could I possibly be burying a body? Lu Ding laughed. Did you really forget I can't even bring myself to kill a crab? Hearing this, I remembered. We never ate fresh seafood at home because neither Lu Ding nor I dared to kill a living creature. Husband, Maybe it really was a nightmare. I whispered. Good girl. Finish your porridge. It's the weekend, so I'll spend the day with you. Do you want to go out or stay home? Let's go out, I said softly. Lu Ding seemed delighted. I finished the porridge and, for the first time in ages, sat at the vanity to put on makeup. The woman in the mirror had delicate features, but her complexion was haggard. Husband, can you wait outside? I'll need about half an hour. Lu Ding agreed. Okay, I'll watch some TV. Hearing his footsteps fade, I picked up my phone. Hello, is this Howda Dispatch? I left a handbag in one of your taxis last night. License plate JNW88VO. Can I please get the driver's number? I took the car at 3:15 a.m. Yes, I've received the message. Thank you. I opened the text. The dispatcher had sent a virtual number, only valid for 10 minutes. I rushed to call. It was true, as much as I wanted to believe Lu Ding. The memory of last night was too sharp. The driver answered quickly, but the voice wasn't familiar. My heart sank. This wasn't yesterday's driver. Sir, were you driving this car around 3 a.m. last night? I asked. Yes, that was me. I took over the shift at midnight and drove straight through until 7 a.m. What's the matter? Sir, do you remember picking up a passenger at 3:15 a.m.? Heading to Hoyuan Shan? I heard the driver scoff on the other end. No way. Who goes to Hoyuan Shan at that hour? I picked up a few fares after 3, but they were all from the bars. I thanked him and hung up. That was not the voice. Was it really all a dream? I checked my phone's search history. It stopped at my searches from before I fell asleep. The Huawei location page was gone. I clearly remembered paying the taxi with WeChat Pay, even tipping the extra 500 yuan. But there was no payment record around 4 a.m. Everything from last night had vanished. I began to wonder, had skipping my medication really blurred the line between my dreams and reality? Huan, are you ready? Lu Ding pushed the door open, asking gently. I looked up and smiled. Ready? Lu Ding stared, surprised. His gaze gave me a feeling I hadn't had since our first dates. My Huan is so beautiful. He breathed. I'm almost 30. I blushed. He laughed. In my heart, Huan is always 18. Before we left, I told him I needed the bathroom. Inside, I washed my hands. As I turned to leave, a small stain in the shower stall caught my eye. Around the drain, there was a smear of mud. I stared at it, and I almost wanted to laugh. Lu Ding was never attentive to small details. I always had to re-clean the bathroom after he used it. And I remembered distinctly, last night, after his shower, when I went in to tidy up, that mud was not there. Lu Ding was lying. He had been to Hoyuan Shan. Everything I saw was real. Lu Ding had buried a body. Lu Ding bought tickets for the newest release, and we went to the Jingcheng Global Cinema. It was a new horror film called Vanished Lover. In the movie, the husband and wife deceived each other, leading to both of their deaths. I looked into Lu Ding's eyes and said slowly, Lu Ding, we've been together 6 years. Married for 2. You swore you would never lie to me. He smiled. Huan, you asked me that last night. My answer is the same. I have never lied to you. I smiled back, but my heart felt like ice. Suddenly, a female voice called out, Mr. Lu, is that you? What a coincidence. A girl in her early 20s, wearing a JK uniform, ran up to Lu Ding. She wore delicate makeup, her face full and radiating youthful energy. Mr. Lu, you're here to see a movie? Is this sister-in-law? Her eyes sized me up, her smile deep. Lu Ding said, Huan, this is Nuo, my intern. Nuo, this is my wife. Huan. Nuo's smile was saccharine. Sister-in-law, you look so young. You don't look 30 at all. I looked at her awkwardly. I was only 28. Lu Ding frowned. If you don't know how to talk, don't. He pulled me away. After we got home, my mind was still in turmoil. Behind Lu Ding's back, I contacted my ex-boyfriend, Xu Ming. We hadn't spoken since I got together with Lu Ding. I'd only heard at a class reunion years ago that Xu Ming was a good-for-nothing, taking odd jobs from home. For the right price, he'd do anything: surveillance, wiretapping, I glanced at Lu Ding working in the study, then dialed. Xu Ming's cynical voice came through the line. Well, Huan, a rare honor. I paused, then asked, Xu Ming, can you follow someone for me? Who? Lu Ding. Xu Ming burst out laughing, his voice dripping with schadenfreude. Oh, I heard you two were sickeningly in love. What's wrong? Suspect he's cheating? Are you taking the job or not? I said coldly. If not, I'll find someone else. I'll take it. Of course I'll take it. He replied. I want you to see what a hypocrite Lu Ding really is. For 3 straight days, Xu Ming tailed Lu Ding, sending me updates via WeChat. Lu Ding left for work at 9 a.m., got off at 6 p.m. In between, he'd buy bread for a homeless old man. After work, he'd feed the stray cats outside his office. That evening, Xu Ming called me. He sounded extremely reluctant. Look, as much as I hate to say it, your husband is clean. Do you misunderstand him or something? My mole inside his company says there's nothing going on with that pretty intern. She likes him, sure, but Lu Ding treats her like any other colleague. I even hacked his computer. Went through all his chat logs. Nothing. Damn it, the guy's disgustingly in love with you. He barely speaks more than 3 sentences to any other woman. Huh? Wait. He suddenly interrupted. Lu Ding isn't heading home. Is this it? He hung up abruptly, saying only that he had to follow him. An unnamed dread began to coil in my stomach. I received a text from Xu Ming. I lost him. At 8 p.m., Lu Ding came home. He looked at me on the sofa and gave an apologetic smile. Sorry, Huan, a last-minute department dinner. I didn't have time to tell you. He even brought me my favorite cheese foam grape tea. He was lying. If he'd been at a team dinner, Xu Ming wouldn't have lost him. A chill crept over me. Lu Ding looked tired. Wife, I'm going to shower. I nodded, watching him walk into the bathroom. Soon, I heard the water running. I picked up the clothes he'd discarded and sniffed them lightly. The faint, metallic tang of blood. My hands began to shake. Lu Ding fell asleep very early that night. I watched his sleeping form, then called Xu Ming. After several rings, he picked up. Gu Huan. He used my full name. His usual sneer gone. Did you know Lu Ding and your psychiatrist know each other? Yes. They were middle school classmates. Then do you know what your diagnosis is? Depression. There was a pause on the other end. I heard Xu Ming speak softly. Gu Huan. This is probably much scarier than you imagine. You need to listen closely to what I'm about to say. Gu Huan. The truth is. Suddenly, I heard a low groan from his end. It was followed immediately by a heavy thud. I yelled Xu Ming's name, but there was no reply. The line went dead. Realizing something was terribly wrong, I immediately called the police. An hour later, the police contacted me. Xu Ming was dead. At the police station, I sat, tense. A policewoman poured me a glass of water. I lifted it, my fingers trembling. Xu Ming's cause of death was a sharp object piercing his heart and lungs. Ma'am, try not to be so nervous. We just have a few simple questions, the policewoman said in a low voice. I nodded, my fingers twisting restlessly. She asked about my relationship with Xu Ming, and about the few phone calls between us. I answered honestly, omitting only the reason I'd hired him to investigate Lu Ding. Before Xu Ming died, all the data on his computer was completely wiped. The officer said grimly. I guessed as much. Xu Ming had discovered a secret he wasn't supposed to. When I got home, Lu Ding was still fast asleep. His phone was charging beside the bed, glowing faintly. I carefully picked it up. The unlock password was my birthday. His phone was clean, just as Xu Ming had said. The WeChat history was spotless. No suspicious messages at all. Just then, my own phone vibrated twice. It's been taken care of. A text from an unknown number had suddenly appeared. My breath hitched. I called the number back, but the system said it didn't exist. The timing of the text was too coincidental, forcing me to think of 2 words, murder for hire. But I absolutely did not want Xu Ming dead. I could never hire a killer. Maybe it was just a wrong number. Just then, Lu Ding suddenly shifted. My fingers, holding his phone, slipped. In an instant, the screen changed, and I realized I had accidentally accessed the private space feature built into the Huawei phone. In this private interface, Lu Ding's WeChat wasn't logged in. I clicked on the notepad, and my heart seized. September 15, 2021. Location: Hu Xuanming Lake. Wangjiajia, 25. Office worker. Cause of death: suffocation. Body dismembered into 18 pieces. Undiscovered. October 15, 2021. Location: abandoned chemical plant. North suburbs. Li Mingming, 30. Salesperson. Cause of death: stabbing. Buried near plant. Discovered November 15, 2021. Location: Jingcheng River. Sujia, 28. Teacher. Cause of death: spine shattered by heavy object. Dumped in river. Discovered December 15, 2021. Location: Hoyuan Shan. Bai Luo, 35. Housewife. Cause of death: slit throat. Buried on mountain. Undiscovered. And the line that terrified me most. Timestamped today, December 20th, 2021. Location: Jingcheng Outskirts Alley. Xu Ming, 29. Unemployed. Cause of death: cardiac arrest. Discovered. I clamped my hand over my mouth. The note's update time was 1 hour ago, but I had been at the police station for at least 2 hours. In other words, Lu Ding hadn't been asleep at all. Huan, what are you looking at? Lu Ding's soft voice came from right behind me. He was staring at me, his eyes dark and gloomy, just as they had been on Hoyuan Shan. I forced a smile. Husband, I think my insomnia is back. I couldn't sleep, so I borrowed your phone to play a game. The screen was open to a Bejeweled type game. Lu Ding sighed. Did you take your medicine tonight? I nodded. It seems we need to increase the dosage.
You're listening to
I
a
heard
story
him
on
murmur.
Hecate audio.
I was terrified, but I could only pretend, pressing myself into his arms. Husband, do you remember Xu Ming? I asked softly. Lu Ding was silent. I looked up and saw his eyes fixed on me, a strange light flashing within them. Huan, why bring up your ex-boyfriend all of a sudden? No reason, I just thought of him. I struggled to control the fear and the strange emotions rising in me. At some point, I fell asleep. When I woke up, Lu Ding had already left for work. I immediately opened my laptop and logged into his Alipay. I suspected yesterday's text was meant for him. Our phone numbers were a couple set, different by only 1 digit. In his Alipay, I found a deleted record, a transfer of 10,000 yuan. The transfer date was 3 days ago, the exact day I hired Xu Ming. I sat, stunned. Lu Ding really had hired someone to kill him. My phone vibrated twice. A WeChat message from Lu Ding. Huan, I'm bringing some colleagues home for dinner tonight. That evening, Lu Ding brought 3 or 5 colleagues home. I immediately spotted the young intern, Nuo, beside him. When Nuo saw me, she gave a smile that wasn't a smile. Hello, sister-in-law. My apologies. I used to think you and Mr. Lu were the same age. It's fine, I said, brushing it off. Lu Ding smiled gently at me, but I avoided his gaze. My mind was tearing itself apart, trapped between love and conscience. Logic told me to call the police before he killed again, but if I did, Lu Ding would undoubtedly face the death penalty. Nuo saw our wedding photo and gasped. Mr. Lu, you're so handsome. Lu Ding replied, I think my wife is more beautiful. The others chimed in. Sister-in-law, you don't know how much Mr. Lu loves you. So many girls at the company like him, but he won't even spare them a glance. I smiled bitterly. I knew all about his love and loyalty. The more he loved me, the more my conscience ached. During dinner, his colleagues praised my cooking. Everyone drank a lot. Nuo especially pushed a lot of alcohol on Lu Ding. He was a lightweight, and his face was soon flushed. One by one, the colleagues left, until only Nuo remained. Lu Ding was slumped on the sofa, dead drunk. Nuo watched me clear the table. Sister-in-law, she said suddenly, I really admire you, having a husband like Mr. Lu. I forced a laugh. You'll meet someone, too. She stared at me, then laughed. Sister-in-law, the thing is, I only like Mr. Lu, and I don't think you deserve him. I froze. Nuo's ruby red lips kept moving. But my vision was blurring. When I woke, I saw Lu Ding squatting on the ground, seemingly busy with something. The air was thick with the coppery smell of blood. My head throbbed, and my body ached inexplicably. I struggled to sit up. Husband? Lu Ding's figure froze. He turned. His face was smeared with fresh blood, dripping from his handsome brow. Huan, he called my name. Nuo was lying on her back, her head severed from her body, her pretty eyes wide in shock, staring fixedly at me. I screamed, ignoring Lu Ding's protests. I scrambled madly for my phone and ran. Lu Ding grabbed a knife and chased me. Huan, don't run. Listen to me. Truly, when faced with abject terror, love and all other emotions shrink to their lowest point. Just like now, I was sobbing as I dialed the police. The dispatcher calmed me, telling me to find a good hiding place. I ducked into an alley, hiding behind a dumpster. The bin was overflowing, the stench unbearable, but huddled in that small space, I felt a strange sense of security. I held my breath, terrified to make a sound. Lu Ding's footsteps echoed from the alley's entrance, drawing closer. Huan, you called the police? Listen to me, you can't call the police, Lu Ding said in a low voice. My heart hammered. Huan, it's not what you think. I know you're in here. Come out first. Okay, he sighed. Finally, he stopped right in front of the dumpster. I looked up. Lu Ding was peering over the edge at me. Huan, I see you. I bolted, but he grabbed me, tackling me to the ground. Huan, let me go. Lu Ding suddenly cried out in pain. He looked down in disbelief at the knife embedded in his stomach. He gave a wretched smile. I didn't think you would hurt me. Huan, I scrambled away, sobbing. I'm sorry, but I can't let you keep doing this. Husband, please, turn yourself in. Lu Ding stared at me in horror. I can't. Huan, I can't. Just then, sirens wailed outside. Several officers rushed into the alley. They walked straight past Lu Ding, and before I could react, they snapped handcuffs onto my wrists. Ms. Huan, you are under suspicion for the murder of multiple women. Please come with us. My head roared. I froze. Lu Ding clearly killed them. So why were they arresting me? Huan, I told you, Lu Ding said, his voice full of pain. You couldn't call the police. I was taken by the police. Lu Ding was put on an ambulance. At the station, I sat in an interrogation room, the spotlight blinding me. Huan, we recovered Xu Ming's hard drive. This is what we found. Several photos were placed in front of me. In them, I saw myself. My face was twisted and unfamiliar, and I was holding a plastic bag over a woman's head. This was taken the day before Xu Ming died. He discovered your secret, so you had him killed. Didn't you? The officer demanded. I trembled, shaking my head in disbelief. I didn't. But the person in the photo was undeniably me. A man in a sharp suit sat across from me. Huan, you're unable to conceive, so you developed a jealousy for pregnant women. You killed them, correct? His eyes were sharp. I shook my head helplessly, screaming, I didn't kill anyone. You did. Huan, we found your skin cells on the victims' bodies, the officer stated. I sat there, stunned, my fingers shaking violently. Then what was in Lu Ding's phone? The murder notes. The police produced another photo. You mean this? It was the exact note from Lu Ding's private space. Huan, what's written there is true. We found the body buried on Hoyuan Shan, and the cause of death was indeed a slit throat. Your husband, Lu Ding, did bury the body, but he didn't kill her. On February 15th, you lost your child, so you chose the 15th of every month to kill a pregnant woman. Lu Ding knew when you would kill. He couldn't stop you, so he chose to clean up the aftermath. Of course, Nuo was an exception. She shouldn't have provoked you about your infertility, right? Huan, do you know what illness you have? I looked at the officer's grave face. Depression. The man in the suit pushed up his glasses. No, to be precise, depression complicated by schizophrenia. We found the medication you were taking at your home and contacted your psychiatrist. He confirmed you frequently experience amnesia and hallucinations. Lu Ding didn't want you to know how severe your illness was, so he lied. telling you it was only simple depression. Gu Huan, let me stress this again. We found your skin cells on those bodies. You killed them all. Xu Ming discovered your secret. He knew how sick you were. That last phone call, he was trying to tell you the truth. I remembered Xu Ming's last call. Gu Huan, do you know what illness you have? All strength drained from my body. I sat motionless, my face pale, tears streamed down my cheeks. The killer was me. I still had one question, the note behind the wedding photo, but it no longer mattered. You're listening to because I committed the murders during periods of insanity. I was sent to the Jingcheng mental hospital. Lu Ding came to visit me with flowers. They were my favorite black roses. And a Cartier bracelet. Huan, today is our anniversary. This is the gift I had someone buy. I was afraid you'd discover the secret. So I deleted the transfer record. He smiled bitterly. So that was the 10,000 yuan transfer I had found. My face was blank, but my heart was in agony. Huan, I will wait for you to recover. Lu Ding said, stroking my hair. I sat on the bed, staring blankly ahead. He said, Huan, if you're tired, sleep. I'm right here. Perhaps because he was there, I drifted into a deep sleep for the first time in ages. Lu Ding suddenly retracted his smile. He stood up, looking down at me. After a moment, he let out a soft chuckle. It was the look of a hunter who had finally cornered his prey. A smile dripping with meaning. Extra, Lu Ding's perspective. My name is Lu Ding. I am a programmer. Since childhood, I understood I was different. I found others to be fools. And I disliked interacting with them. In university, I majored in psychology. I adored the subject. The human mind is a marvelous thing. Far more interesting than their boring exteriors. My parents pushed me to date. They wanted grandchildren. But I had no interest. Until I met Gu Huan. Gu Huan was my junior. She was intelligent, capable, a cut above the average person. But to me, she was still rather stupid. I could feel she liked me. Every time I looked at her, she blushed. Love is a tasteless thing. I had no interest, but I was fascinated by the inner workings of people in love. If hearts could talk, I truly wanted to cut them open and see. Gu Huan and I married. I began to grow bored. But then, she developed depression after her repeated miscarriages. In truth, she was perfectly healthy. The miscarriages happened because I secretly put abortifacients in her milk tea. Her depression worsened, and I began to find it interesting. So, I hypnotized her. Use suggestion. I kept telling her that pregnant women had stolen her babies. I replaced her medication, watching her illness spiral. How fascinating. It turns out the human psyche can be methodically guided into darkness through hypnosis. Gu Huan was once a woman with a strong mind, now she has schizophrenia. I watched her kill, then played the part of the emotional husband, helping her dispose of the evidence. In truth, I was also enjoying the thrill of murder without any of the legal responsibility. As for her following me to Hoyuan Shan that night, it was simple to cover up. I deleted the payment history from her phone, bribed the taxi driver, and then intentionally left that trace of mud in the bathroom. I wanted her to be tormented by her own mind. The human psyche is so interesting, isn't it? I did discover one thing. However, Gu Huan is actually very smart. During a moment of lucidity after a murder, she left a note telling herself not to trust me, warning herself to run. What a pity. Gu Huan, I must go find my next prey.